Welcome to the video lecture series of Project Development and Resource Management. This is the course of MTech ECE, third semester. The course code MCE 301, contact hours 4 per week and credits 4. Myself, Dr. Shunipa Roy, Assistant Professor of Electronics and Communication Engineering Department, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, presenting this lecture. Now this is module 1, Research Methodology and Techniques. The title of the module is Research Methodology and Techniques. This is lecture 1. Module 1 consists of meaning of research, objective, motivation and types of research, research process, its implementation or representation through flowchart, sample designing, different types of sample designing, testing of hypotheses, chi-square test, a statistical measure of sampling analysis. Next portion covers data collection and storing through database management systems, concept of data warehouses and data marts, concept of multidimensional analysis of project data, different types of statistical analysis through SQL. So this is the lesson plan of this lecture 1. We will cover in this lecture meaning of research, its objective, motivation and types of research and research process. Let us start our lecture. Now, what is research? The pronunciation should be like this: research. Re means once more, afresh, anew. And search means look through or go over thoroughly to look something. I mean research. That means again search, again search. So, research basically careful or diligent search. Merriam-Webster defined the research in this way. He has presented 3 useful techniques how to define research. Second technique he has framed like this way: studious inquiry or examination. Studious inquiry because it needs time, it needs perseverance, especially investigation or experimentation aimed at the discovery and interpretation of facts. Revision of accepted theories or laws. That means already there are some laws or theories present. Now you have to modify or revise these theories. Research is not invention. Research is just the revision or modification in light of new facts or practical application of such new or revised theories or laws. Thirdly, he has depicted that the collecting of information about a particular subject. So someone has not collected the data. So if anybody wants to start their research in that field, now he or she has to collect the data first. So we can take an example. Toki CEO wants to launch its company in Malaysia. Now, what he should do or she should do? First, he or she has to frame a process of decision making. This is a very vital point of research, that is decision making. So, decision making needs conviction. So, what is conviction? Conviction can be justified as there should be no doubt. Knowledge to justify your decision because you have sufficient knowledge so that you justify your decision. Until and unless you have plenty of knowledge on that particular field, you can't decide anything or justify any decision. And thirdly, goals. or achievement. What I want to achieve. First is there should be no doubt. The applicant should be very, very confident. Next is knowledge to justify. Third one is goal or achievement. What is my goal? So research we can again define in some another way. That is, research is an organized and systematic way of finding answers to questions. That is, organized and systematic way of finding answers to questions. That means if anybody asks something, if anybody places a question in front of anybody, the replying, that doesn't mean he or she doing the research. The fact is that he has to be organized and systematic way, that he has to make a note, he has to make a report of that question. So what does it mean, systematic? Because there is a definite set of procedures and steps which you will follow. That is called systematic. That is, there is a defined steps. There are certain things in the research process which is always done in order to get the most accurate result. So maybe I am getting some result. I am doing an experimental work. I am getting some result. Obviously, I will get. But if that result is accurate, so research process is nothing but the way to find that whether the result is accurate or not. This may be by system designing, by system modeling, by an analytical approach, by simulation, whatever may be. So organized. Organized means there is a structure or method in going about doing a research. So in our daily life, we wake up from the bed, next we wash ourselves, then we take breakfast, then we go outside for our job or duty or whatever. We start our study. So in our daily life, we are organized. We know that what are the steps we have to follow in our day. In that, like that, research is also organized. There are some steps the applicant or researcher should follow to continue his or her research. It is a planned procedure, not a spontaneous one. There is a specific predefined plan, predefined courtesy. It is focused and limited to a specific scope. So now the most judicial factor of research is finding answers. And that is the end of all research, right? Whether it is the answer to a hypothesis or even a simple question, research is successful when we find answers. Sometimes the answer is no, but it is still answer, right? Sometimes I may call that it is not possible to find out the scope of this area. This is also answer. Everybody should know that the answer is not it is not easy to find out the scope of this area. So that is the end of the research, that is finding answers. Now questions. Questions are the central of the research, that is core of the research. What is my problem statement? Question means problem statement. If there is no problem statement, then there is no answer, and that is of no use. That is not called research. So research is focused on relevant, useful, and important problem statement that has not been done in that way by previous researchers. Without a problem statement, researchers no focus, drive, or purpose. So defining research. Now, Newman has defined the research in this way. First point is a collection of methods and methodologies that researchers apply systematically to produce scientifically based knowledge about the social world. Social world means it may be technical, it may be environmental, That is all we are related by a social relation. That's why this is named social world. This next point, a collection of methods and methodologies, and that has been repeated again, a collection of methods and methodologies that researchers apply systematically to produce systematic to produce a scientifically knowledge about the social world. So now the name of the topic is research methodology. Now we have completed what is research, how to perform research, what are the central of research, what is the end of the research. Now how to start the research, what is decision making, how should we think while performing a research. Now how to perform a research, that is meant by methodology. So when we are, say we are cooking a dish, so there is a method. First we have to take, say, milk, then we have to pour sugar into that water, then we have to put in that on the flame, we have to stir it. So there is a methodology while cooking. Like that, research has also got a methodology. So methodology is nothing but the methods. Two terms are often treated as synonyms, but there is a little bit of difference. So let us find what is that difference. Methodology is broader and involves methods. It is understanding the social organizational context, philosophical assumption, ethical principles, political issues of the enterprise of researchers who use methods. Now, methods, we can conclude in this way that methods are set of specific techniques for selecting cases, measuring and observing aspects of social life, gathering and refining data, analyzing data, and reporting on the results. So methodology is a broader sense, method is a specific technique. So we may think that methodology and methods are same, there is no harm on it. Okay. Now, defining research, second point is research must be systematic and follow a series of steps under rigid standard protocol. Say I am telling that this is 1 centimeter. We know how much 1 centimeter is. Say we are concluding that this is 1 meter. We know that how much 1 meter is. So there is a standard protocol. We don't go beyond that. Like that, research also has some standard protocol. These rules are broadly similar but may vary slightly between different fields of research or science. So why conduct research? Why should we go for research? Now we can conclude that you search the scriptures because you think that in them you have eternal life. It is this that testify about me. John, the scientist, has told this. So it is to satisfy myself, it is to testify myself, and reason or purpose is to create new knowledge and or significantly add to existing literature. So there is a knowledge, we are just adding a new on it, right? So research, you please remember that research is always based on the existing knowledge. There should be an existing rule, an existing policy. Now you have to revise it, modify it, whether it may be technological, whether it may be science, whether it may be social, political, whatever. So you have to add something on the existing literature. So what is research methodology? In a general way, we can say that research methodology is defined as a highly intellectual human activity used in the investigation of nature and matter and deals specifically with the manner in which data is collected, analyzed, and interpreted. That is the intellectual human activity. That is, everybody can't do research. It is not possible for all human beings because he or she should have the intellect in his mind, in his brain. So with that proper intellect, if they apply the intellect in a proper way, then only research is possible. Otherwise, all will be in vain. So now we start with types of research. This is very interesting. Until and unless we study this research methodology topic, we don't have idea how many types of research are there in the world. First one is quantitative research. Second one is basic research. Third one is applied research. Fourth one is longitudinal research. Fifth one is qualitative research. Sixth, descriptive research. Seventh, classification research. Eighth, comparative research. Ninth, explorative research. 10th, explanatory research. 11th, causal research. 12th, theory testing research. 13th, theory building research. 14th, action research. Now, we should start with the first one, quantitative research. It is based on methodological principles of positivism and neo-positivism, like fully positive or nearly positive, that is quantitative research. It adheres to standards of strict research design. And statistical analysis is used in because this is quantitative, numerical data required. Next point is basic research. So what is basic research? That is the purpose of gaining knowledge. Basic research always some analytical approach and some knowledge can be gained through basic research. In quantitative research, you may explain something through numerical method. You may present some data through quantitative research, but basic research is not always mean that you have to produce the data. It may be theoretical, right? In advanced understanding about social world and help in supporting and rejecting existing hypotheses and theories. If some existing theories is getting rejected, then the new theory comes and replaces the past theory. So basic research is very vital, and basic research can also replace the existing theories or hypotheses. So basic research of purpose of gaining knowledge, it is about the social world and helps in supporting and rejecting existing hypotheses and theories. Next is applied research. Aims at solving specific problems, aims at establishing policy programs that will help to improve social life. Types of applied research are action research, social impact studies, cost-benefit analysis, evaluation research. So that is applied research, always some solving problem is there. We have to solve something, that is we have to calculate something, that is the application based. That's why the name applied research. Now the term longitudinal research. Longitudinal research involves study of sample at more than one point of time or occasion. So longitudinal research means, again I repeat, study of sample, because you are collecting the data for the meantime, say. Okay. Now after 1 month, you are again collecting the data. You can make a comparative study whether these two data are same or not. This type of research is called longitudinal research. That is trend studies, panel studies. Now cross-sectional research. So what is cross-sectional research? It involves study of many cases at one point in time or occasion. So that is just reverse of longitudinal research. Longitudinal research means different sample you have to take at different time interval. But in cross-sectional research, at same time, at one point of time, you have to study many samples, many cases. So, next is qualitative research. It is based on methodological principles of phenomenology, symbolic interactionism, and hermeneutics. So, qualitative research means it aims at exploration of social world. And Lazarsfeld said that following elements are there: exploration, relationship discovery, establishing construct, testing, hypothesis. Next is descriptive research. Descriptive research is usually it forms preliminary study of a research project. It aims at describe social events, relations of events, and it provides background information about an event in question. So say something is happening nowadays. So now you have to describe why these things are happening, what are the socio-economical background, what are the environmental effects, what are the political background. You have to make a note or make a report of all these things. That is the descriptive research. Next is classification research. It aims at categorization of units into groups to demonstrate differences, to explain relationships. So classification research is based on groups. There are different groups here. So you have to make a group. Now say you are performing a research that say 1 to 5, say 20 to 30 age group, the human psychology, 30 to 40 age group, what are the human psychology, and 40 to 50 age group, what are the human psychology. Then you have to classify this age group. Next, then you have to collect the data on the basis of this classification, and then you have to analyze it, or you have to apply the statistics. That is the classification research. Comparative research, to identify similarities and differences between units of all levels. Now, comparative research is little bit different than classification research. Say you are taking the data, just like previously mentioned, say 40 to 50 age group. Now, 40 to 50 age group, 10 people are there. Now, you have to make a comparative study. How much their ideas are differing from one to one. So, this is called comparative research. Now, exploratory research, it aims at gaining information about an issue in hand. You should have an issue, and now you have to explore these things, that how much you have to, what are the things involved, why these issues have been arised. So these are called exploratory research. And it explains the social relations and events. This explanatory research, social relations and events, this explain and to build, test, or revise a theory. That is a basic, this is a little bit type of basic research. Now, causal research. Causal research is, it aims at establishing cause and effect relationship among variables. Why this has happened? What is the cause behind it? And what is the effect for this of it? So this is the causal research. Next is theory testing research. It aims at testing validity of a theory. So you have a theory, say Einstein theory. Now you have to validate this theory. That is theory testing research. Next is theory building research. So theory building research means, first one was testing, to establish and formulate theory. Now you have to build some data on the basis of that theory. That is called theory building research. So 14th number is action research. Actually, action research, it is the application of fact findings to practical problem solving in a social situation with a view to improve quality of action within it, involving collaboration and cooperation of researchers, practitioners, and laymen. Again, I repeat, it is application of fact findings to practical problem solving in a social situation with a view to improve quality of action within it. So there are some action research is nothing but for improvement purpose, involving collaboration and cooperation of researchers, practitioners, and laymen. Say you are doing a research. Now, if you collaborate with some renowned university or professor, then it would be beneficial for you and the society also. So how to improve the quality of action? That is called action research. It can be situational, collaborative, participatory, and self-evaluation based. And so situational means diagnoses a problem first and attempts to solve it. So action research is very interesting and it may involve the field work. Now messages. Research should be about some problem. It encourages enthusiasm, encourages or may create an interest, enthu for you and interest for others. It is often generated from the thought, what we have got now from the past isn't quite right, good enough, we can do better. So I am not satisfied whatever the result we have in our hand from past literature. Now we think we can revise it, we can modify it. So this type of mentality should grow in one mind who are going to pursue their research. Consists of work that leads to a meaningful contribution. So I am doing research for the last 5 years, but till date I have not got the suitable data, or that has not a societal impact. The contribution has no effect on society or human beings or mankind or researchers, whatever. So these messages should not be there. It should have a meaningful contribution to the society and better solution of the problem. So already there is a solution. Now you are doing some betterment on it. So research is that thing. So this is the reading material, Management of Technology, Tariq McGraw-Hill. If there is any question, please feel free to ask me to this email ID, shunipa.roy@gnit.ac.in. Thank you.